Hey there everyone, it's JC, welcome back. Card makers, including myself, talk about color, media techniques, inking techniques, but one of the other ingredients to great art is composition. In order to demonstrate composition, I'll use one very simple rule that you have most likely heard about. This rule can be applied to many different themes of cards, but for today's examples, I'll use the all-encompassing floral card theme since it is the most popular. The floral stamp set I will use today is the Ink on 3 BeYOUtiful, and yes, I have to say it like that because that's how Florette spelled it. This stamp set is perfect for this composition technique because it contains one large bloom, 3 smaller blooms, and 2 variations of foliage. Whether or not you use all of the stamps, you can still achieve balanced bouquets. I'll use the Ink on 3 Blackout Detail Ink since it is a super black alcohol marker friendly ink. So I've already inked up and stamped the largest flower and both leaves onto some Copic friendly paper. I love using Nina Solar White in 80 pound. Then on this second new A2 panel, I'll stamp the largest flower and 2 of the flower buds. For the leaves, however, I'll stamp the paired cluster twice and the single leaf once for a total of 5 individual leaves. To clean off my stamps, I'll wipe off the residual ink from the surface of the stamps with my Ink on 3 microfiber cloth. Then I'll tap the Ink on 3 ink off pad directly onto the photopolymer stamp as normal. Then wipe off the cleaning solution with my microfiber cloth. Now my stamps are conditioned, cleaned, and ready for the next time I need them. Okay, so the floral composition rule. So you can color your flowers however you would like. The main point of this video is about composing a balanced bouquet. On the left, I have 1 flower and 3 leaves. I'll use those images on one card. On the right, I have 3 flower elements and 5 leaves. And I'll use those images on a second card. Instinctually, our minds want to group elements. So when an even number of elements are used in a composition, we tend to group them, subsequently breaking a composition into paired segments. Whereas using an odd number of elements captures attention and interest, since the composition cannot be visually broken into groups. This is known as the rule of odds, and it can be applied to a multitude of different settings. Try using this with an odd number of colors, or non-floral subjects like many of your animal scenes and stamps. It all works in this composition perspective. I'll keep coloring these flowers and leaves and come back when it's all done. So now I'm using my favorite swivel knife to cut out these flowers. Luckily, the shape of these images are easy to cut with whatever tools you like to use for fussy cutting. I'll set aside the 3 and 5 flower bouquet for the next card and bring back the 1 and 3 arrangement. I'll do a rough plan for this flower and leaves. I changed my mind a lot, so bear with me. I'm using this cream colored cardstock for my background and adding black splatters to it by using a fine tipped water brush dipped in diluted black ink. After finding an arrangement I'm happy with, I'll plan the placement of my sentiment. I do this right in the stamp positioning tool. I'll stamp this BeYOUtiful sentiment using the same Blackout ink from earlier and surround it with the smaller stamps so that the sentiment reads, "Have a beautiful day." I'll glue this panel onto my card base, then I'll foam mount the largest flower on top of the gray leaves for some dimension. Lastly, I'll finish this card with black sequins for this first illustration of the rule of odds. And notice the sequins also follow the same rule. For the 3 and 5 floral bouquet, I've already made the plan that you see here. To help preserve this arrangement, I'll use Glad Press and Seal to keep the placement of all the leaves and flowers. I'll do the same thing as before with the black splatters and speckles. Once the panel is dry, I'll bring it into my stamp positioning tool as well as the floral arrangement. The nice thing with the press and seal is I can pick up everyone at once without the fuss of losing the arrangement while planning the placement of the sentiment. Again, I'll plan and stamp the sentiment directly on my background cardstock. After gluing the background on my note card base, I'll turn the entire arrangement over while attached to the press and seal. This will help keep my colored flower elements together while I apply glue to the back. Then all I have to do is turn the entire piece over after applying glue and press everyone down. Now I have the placement I originally intended and it frames the sentiment. I'll apply an odd number of gold sequins to finish the second example of the rule of odds. See, super easy composition rules for anyone to follow. Just to recap, here is the BeYOUtiful Stamp Set from Ink on 3, and my 2 examples of the rule of odds. The card on the left featuring 1 flower and 3 leaves. The card on the right featuring 3 flower elements and 5 leaves. I hope you found this quick tip helpful for your next floral composition. If you did, make sure you like this video and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. All the materials I used in this video can be found in the description box below, so make sure you check that out. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have the best day.